All right, welcome to FusionCast Episode 1. I'm Fusion64, and I'm joined with Rebel Blood 80. I think this is the first time we've done a podcast in, I think, 7 years.
Something like that.
Do you think it's going to be another 7 years before we get to another podcast?
One can only hope, since that last one was such a smashing success.
Oh, God, yeah. I think I have the video like on my other channel. I was going to send it to you, but I forgot.
You should.
It wasn't a great podcast, but
No.
all right.
But we're older and wiser,
Right.
maybe now.
Right, totally. All right, we got some topics today. The Last of Us, PS5 Pro, Switchback VR, Diablo 4, Redfall coming to PS5, yes or no? Oh, what should we start with? Why don't we get The Last of Us out of the way? Because I think Diablo 4 is going to be a big topic, so let's just get it off with a quick one with The Last of Us.
Quick, because I stopped watching the show.
You didn't finish it?
I did not. I
Oh,
fell off early on.
what episode?
I don't even remember, but the episode was such a waste of my time that I quit watching it.
No. That's sad.
Uh,
That's sad.
Nothing happened in the episode.
Dude, it was good. I mean, did you even make it to like halfway, episode 5?
Uh, Wait, can we swear in this podcast?
Yeah, I don't care.
All right, yeah, no,
It's not. It's not
the
for
show was
kids.
shit.
No.
The not safe for work fusion cast. No, it's just the production values were great, the acting was great, but just I think the story was bad.
My biggest problem with the show was like they probably their budget, and they didn't have very many scenes with the infected in it.
It's because every single show tries to make it about the humans versus
It's a
humans now,
human,
and
or well, yeah, there's humans. There's a human element to the story. We got to
I
focus on
don't need
that.
that.
I mean,
I need killing zombies, even if they're mushrooms.
you gotta if you could focus on that for a decent amount, but you gotta have more, because the world didn't feel like it was very dangerous after like. Did you get to the one episode where they had like the bloater come out of the ground or whatever, basically?
No,
Okay, you didn't get to that one. That was like the really last one that they had really danger from any infected, really, and that was like 5, I think, out of 9. And I mean, like the last like 3 episodes felt a little rushed, but I mean, I loved it overall. It was good.
all right, I will catch up on it just to talk about it next time.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you've played the full game, right?
No, I didn't like the story in that one either.
Oh my god! I mean, just smash my head through this computer right now.
But but I'm going to buy the PC port.
Oh, of course, yeah. You're gonna love it on PC, I'm sure.
Probably not.
Play it on my PC. I heard it's supposed to be really good. I mean, they've had their PC ports. I think have been really good after, because I don't think Horizon was all that good. Think they had someone else do that one, and it like took a while for that
I
one. And then I think they started doing with that Nix's who they bought.
I have all of the ports except for the Spider-Man Miles Morales one,
Yeah,
and they're all fantastic. Even the Horizon Zero Dawn one was really good, but I did not could not stay in that game either.
yeah.
I just
I
was
think
not feeling the bow.
I think that's one that like it took a while for them to get like a few patches for it to get up to snuff, really. And that's why they ended up buying. I think it's Nix's who they bought, who did like most of, I think, a few of their other PC ports, really.
God
So
of War though, fantastic.
is it well? I mean, I think the game is good, but on PC it's good.
Oh, it blows away the PS4 version.
Well, obviously, it's like if you're running on PC.
And Spider-Man, fantastic. I also have the Nathan Drake,
Oh yeah,
but
I don't think they
I
have
haven't played that
I
yet.
don't think they have anything else announced for PC after Last of Us, because I don't even think Ghost of Tsushima is announced yet.
Days Gone,
Oh yeah,
best,
Days Gone. Oh my god,
the
I
best
can't believe
one.
you love that game. It's fine. It's just it's way too long. It's way too long.
It is, and it takes a really long time to get into it. I was falling off of it in the beginning because your guns are inaccurate and they don't do a lot of damage. But the longer you stay with it, then the deeper you get into it, customizing your bike and your guns and killing hordes. That's the best part about that game is killing the hordes.
Right. I mean, the like when you have to keep filling your bike up with gas and stuff, it's like, oh man, it gets tedious after a while. But the combat is pretty good. The shooting kind of sucks. It's kind of meh, but like the hand-to-hand melee combat's good in that game. Especially craft all those crazy weapons.
Yes.
I like
So
the
I
baseball
will
bat
give
with like the saw blades in it.
that was my go-to.
Yeah, that
As
was
soon as I
really
got
good.
that was my go-to.
And they have a whole bunch of cool stuff like towards like that's like 60 hours into the game, like where you fight like the zombie bears. It's like, why wasn't this in the game like 30 hours ago? That would have been cool.
By then the guns are a lot better too, and you're able to kill a lot easier. Headshots become easier. It's like they wanted you to feel like you had broken guns in the beginning of the game,
Right.
and it just made gunplay so bad that I fell off of it for a couple weeks, and then I went back to it and just got further in it, and it got better.
Yeah, I just wish all that stuff happened a little earlier because by then I'm like, I can't play this game anymore. And like
Yeah,
the horde
fast
stuff is
pacing.
cool. Like the horde stuff is cool if it was in there like I said, like half like 30 hours earlier. Because I swear I put like 60 to 70 hours. I feel like into that game, at least 60. And I'm like, dude, I'm not done yet. I'm like, come on. But
I tried tackling a horde early on. That did not go well.
no. Oh man, but yeah, no, The Last of Us, I liked it. Like obviously there's like things to nitpick on it. The like not enough zombies in it was one of them. And then yeah, even my wife, because like one of the episodes, if you did you play like you didn't even get there. So like there's that Left Behind DLC that like happens after a certain point in the show, and it's like at a pivotal point in the show, and they go back, like if you're watching a TV show and it ends on like kind of like a cliffhanger, kind of like you're waiting for something to happen, and then the next episode is like a flashback, and they don't even tackle like what you were like waiting to see. So even my wife was like, "Oh man, this felt like filler this episode," and it's part of the story, but like yeah, and then they kind of rushed like the ending of it, but overall it was really
Yeah,
good, and it did really well on HBO. It was like their best most watched show since like the last season of Game of Thrones, I believe. It even beat House of Dragon like in a per episode like million viewer basis or something.
uh, for you and for this podcast, I'll give it another shot.
Okay.
But I
You should just like throw out your computer and everything outside for the day and then just like, okay, I have to watch this.
No, I don't think it's good storytelling.
No.
I think it's a good story, but I don't think they're telling a good story. When you have a whole episode that has two characters and they're the focus of the episode, and at the end of the episode they died, what did I gain from that? What did I gain
Right.
from watching that? Besides growing, seeing two people grow together and
Right. And that was one thing that people had a problem with because that's totally different in the game. Like you don't even you meet the guy Bill in the game and he takes you and he has like some good banter with Ellie that's pretty funny and she's like talking shit to him and then you go with him throughout the town and go through his traps and he takes you through like the high school and stuff and he helps you kill like a bloater I think it was in there and so like yeah it's totally different in the game than it is in the show so but yeah.
and that I don't even care about, but it's just the whole episode dedicated to two people that don't even survive and barely make an impact. I mean, getting the car was a part of the story,
Right,
but
right.
we didn't need that whole episode dedicated to that. It just was a waste of my time when I have such a huge backlog of games to play.
Right, totally, totally. I get it. All right. Next up, we have the rumors of the PS5 Pro. Did you hear about that?
Uh, a
So
couple times I do not take stock in that.
basically, that guy Tom Henderson. He's like from. He has his own website from Insider Gaming. I think he's like based out of the UK. But basically, I mean, he's pretty spot on a lot of stuff, really. And I think he basically said that it's supposed to come out like end of next year, basically, from what he's heard. And basically, that's it. I think there's supposed to be like a PlayStation Slim this year, the PS5 Pro end of next year, and then he's even heard that like PlayStation 6 isn't even until like at least 2028 or something like that.
I would believe a PlayStation Slim before I believed a Pro at this point.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do a Pro this year. Maybe a Pro next year because I think this generation's gonna last like longer than last
But
generation, basically. Because I mean, you can't even still get like Xbox Series X is hard to find in stores. Like I don't know, they're still facing like supply issues.
I didn't get
So
mine until November
of what this year?
last year.
Oh, last
Yeah.
year. Yeah, I mean, I found one, but then it seems like they've gotten hard to find again. Where like PlayStation now you can find them. They're not like sitting on every shelf, but if you like really went to like a few stores, you probably could find one.
But
And, like
now, if
they're
you
more
walk
on
around
Amazon.
to like Walmart or whatnot, you could find a Xbox Series S, no problem.
Yeah, S, but the X for some reason maybe they're still having issues with supply with that. But yeah, I just think that like they're not gonna be like, okay, we're gonna jump to a new generation when we couldn't sell as many consoles this generation as we could. And then nothing's really taken advantage of the games really this gen yet. We're still in cross gen
That's why
stuff.
I can't believe a Pro. That's why I think whatever
Well,
they
I
announce is
think
going to be a Slim because it's going to be cheaper to make, probably easier to make, and they'll be able to flood the market with the Slim. What would you get out of a Pro that the PlayStation 5 can't already do?
I just think that we're still really we're only barely starting to see like games that are made for this generation. I think we're gonna end up starting to see maybe stuff that's 30 frames per second again. So that maybe you need a Pro in order to
It
maybe
better
get
be at
60.
8K if it's 30 frames per second.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look at Gotham Knights. Look at Gotham Knights. It was only 30 frames per second. And then
That game was so disappointing.
what was the other game last year? A Plague Tale.
Yeah,
That
that
I
could have
think that was
been
only
the.
32, right?
I would have to look it up, but that could have just been because they're a smaller studio. I think that could have just been limitations
Yeah,
because of
possibly.
studio size.
Yeah, possibly. But maybe once we start seeing some of these Unreal Engine 5 games, like they have a harder time hitting 60, or at least for because it might end up being like on the base system can only hit like 1080p 60 frames per second.
But with these systems, we were supposed to be getting 120 frames per second
Yeah, that was a lie.
at 8K.
The PlayStation 5 box says 8K. We haven't seen no 8K games yet.
You even know anybody with an 8K television?
No, I don't. That's why I don't think like if this Pro thing is real, I don't think that it's just gonna be able to do maybe better ray tracing because I think you could see games that usually have ray tracing are only 30 frames per second, right? You
Well,
usually have to
that's
choose. You usually have to choose like a ray tracing mode or either that or a performance mode. So maybe if there's a Pro that you would be able to do ray tracing with performance.
I don't know if you'd even be able to do that because even PC games, a lot of times you'll be sacrificing FPS for the ray tracing. Like I have Control on PC, and I still only get about 45 frames per second with everything maxed out. I have to scale everything back in order to get 60 and ray tracing.
But even like a lot of this cross-gen stuff we're not getting like native 4K 60 FPS stuff. A lot of the times it's like 1440, 60. So maybe it's like maybe they like, oh, this PS5 regular was fake 4K. Okay, this is real 4K, or I don't know. But
Upscaled 4K.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, like when Horizon Forbidden West came out, I think that's only like 1440, 60. And I know when it came out, like the performance mode was a little soft, like the resolution. Supposedly they came back and like patched it and made it look a little bit better. But yeah, I mean maybe that's something that they could do. But I don't. Yeah, that's not. There's no way that happens this year. But like I could totally see this generation lasting like eight years, and maybe like 2024 end of 2024 we get like Pro systems from both of these guys. I don't know.
All right, I got a question for you. What would the cost of a PS5 Pro be?
What would I? Oh no. Well, the question is, what would I be willing to pay for one?
Fair enough. What would you
Probably.
be willing
Well,
to pay for
it
one?
depends. That also depends on what I could get for the PS4. Or I'm sorry, the PS4, the PS5, because like when the Switch OLED came out, that was like 350, and I was able to get like 280, I think, for my original launch Switch. It was something like 270 or 280, I believe. So like I think I paid like $70 total for the OLEDs. I was like, okay, this is totally worth it. So I mean, I would do if I could get like, oh no, see, I have a digital, so I probably only get like 3 to 350. Oh man, it would assume it wouldn't have a, it would be a digital only console maybe. Six would be the most I'd be able to. I would pay for it. So like probably like three with a trade in or something.
Well, if you're talking doing 4K ray tracing, 60 frames per second, I think you're going to pay upwards of like $800 for a system to do that.
No, they won't go 800. I think the max they would do would be like
They can't
six.
go 800, but
Yeah.
that's just.
I think the max they would do would be like 60. Or say not 6,600. Yeah, because 800. No, I don't even think you're really limiting who the hell is going to buy that. Even 600 is even probably a tough ask. And with the Pro, the PS4 Pro, they were able to get it out for like 400 and drop the price of the base model down 100. And then remember,
I think we'll see something like that with the PS5 Slim.
the Xbox
Able to mass produce it a little bit faster, make it a little bit cheaper, and make it a little bit cheaper than the base.
Get it,
and then
get it down by like 50 or $100 or whatever, and then maybe the
yeah. Because what is the PS5 now with the disc? What is that, 550?
no, it's 500 here in the U.S. It's 500 with the disc is 500. Without the disc is 400.
Yeah, you stabilize that market like that for a little while, and then you release the Pro, and then that it goes back up to 500.
But they don't ever sell like the discless one. Is hard to find usually because I think they take probably a lot more of a loss on that.
Probably the one I have is a disc one.
Okay, yeah, my kid
I had to have the disc.
My son has the disc one because that was like the only one I could find. He's like 2 weeks before Christmas. He's like, "Can I get a PlayStation 5?" I'm like, "Dude," I'm like, "You should have asked me a month ago. These things are hard as hell to find now." Jerk. So I think Xbox will probably end up doing something similar. The only thing I'm wondering if they would make like a, they'll probably have like a Series X Pro or whatever you want to call it. But I wonder if they would do like a Series S Pro, which now that's you're diff to develop for 4 different systems.
Or they don't name change it at all, and they just make a new Series S and continue calling it the Series S.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. Does your wife like her Series S?
So far, yeah, it's tiny.
I love that. You see people online who have that screen for it. That thing's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's
That
actually
little flip-up
something for me
one.
to look in. Have you seen the new toaster coming out? The Series S toaster?
No, I haven't.
You should look into that.
I just like the look of that thing. It just looks like a speaker.
It does look like a Bluetooth speaker that you could bring to the beach.
It does, yeah. It's cool. Like I would totally get that for like travel or something. 'Cause the Switch is a little. I keep like flirting with the Steam Deck.
You should get one. I want to get one.
I keep flirting with it. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
They were on sale recently.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were on sale for 10% off, right? But you always see people on Facebook Marketplace selling them. I've thought about.
But I would
like,
want one new. Handhelds, I don't know. I don't know about getting
Yeah.
a handheld that was in somebody else's hands.
I mean, I've bought them before, but it just depends on how big of a discount they plan on giving, really.
But I don't even like buying consoles used either,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you never know when you're going to get that console home and like roaches are going to crawl out of the vents.
I sold my Oculus Quest 2 to somebody on Facebook. Now that would be something I would be like, I don't know if I want to buy used. Definitely, it's like something you put on your face.
Well, this visor feels really greasy.
Right? Yeah. That's gross. That is gross. Redfall was supposedly there was a PS5 version of Redfall in the making. And supposedly when Xbox bought Bethesda, they came and were like, you're not doing that anymore. Cancel that. What do you think?
I'm fine with it. First of all, we don't know how good Redfall is. It's Arcane. I'm a huge Arcane fan. I own every single Arcane game. I've played them all except for, what was that one where you repeat time?
Oh, the latest one.
Yeah, it's in my backlog. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I own it.
I thought it was so cool. at first, and then like I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of doing the same thing, and this is getting kind of boring. What is it? It starts with a D, doesn't it?
It definitely starts with a
Deathloop.
D.
Deathloop.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Deathloop. It's in my backlog. I'll memorize that name once I get to play it.
Right.
But every other game they made so far, I've loved. I don't think they get the attention that they deserve. I think they're an underappreciated developer because Prey is up there as one of my favorite games. Their Prey, not the other Prey,
Okay.
not the Xbox 360 Prey. Even though that game's kind of cool, but Arcane's Prey is a fantastic game. If you've not played it, you have to give it a shot.
I never got into like any of their games. I played a little bit of Dishonored, but I never could. I couldn't really get into it. Uh, and then yeah, like Deathloop, I played it for a while. I think it had that like PlayStation 5 like exclusive like shine on me for the first 5 hours, and I'm like, all right, I'm doing the same thing over and over, and I don't like these games where I gotta be smart. And yeah, I was like, no, okay. And then I just deleted it because I probably needed storage for something.
Isn't that the eternal battle? Storage.
Dude, on PlayStation 5, it sucks. Like, because I think you only start off with 8 something to start off with, and then I think the OS takes some. And then NBA 2K is 160 gigabytes. Uh, Gran Turismo is about the same. So, like, that is like a good chunk of your storage right there, over half of it, roughly. And
Yeah, I'm curious how big
for,
Diablo 4 is going to be when that comes out because that's got to go on my wife's Series S.
oh,
And there's only like 300 and something gigabytes left on it right now after installing several games. And the demo was like 80 gigs.
yeah, it was. I was. That's why I didn't download it. I'm like, oh man, I don't know about this. I got to clear space, and I'm like, all right, maybe if I beat Hogwarts by the end of the weekend, I can get it. But then I was like, okay, this isn't gonna happen. And then I'm like, and then I saw all like the people with the server issues or whatever like that. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not worried about it. And I didn't realize this weekend was an open beta. So
Yeah, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We got to go back
go back
to
to Redfall.
Redfall.
Okay, yeah. So I don't have an issue with. I only have an issue with like the whole like where Phil Spencer's like, we want to bring games to everybody. We're not taking games away from anybody. I just would just be like these companies were honest, and they were like, yeah, we're buying this because we want to put it on Game Pass. We want you guys to come to Game Pass, and F PlayStation, unless they want to have Game Pass. I wish they were just honest instead of being like, we want to bring gamers everywhere, and then I don't have a major issue with it, but that's just
The
the whole thing.
only thing honest about any of these companies is when they say they want your money.
Right, exactly. I know, seriously, and like, and that's
But
how like I think like the courts with this whole Activision thing where they're like, or I think the FTC was like, you said that you weren't going to pull some of these Bethesda games off other rival consoles, and you did, or but it's so muddy. I don't know. I'm so ready for this thing to be over with them and Activision, Blizzard, and stuff.
I, I've got a point to make on that, and I'll get to that.
Okay, you go back to Redfall.
But back to Redfall, if they are making an exclusive, that could be indication that it is a really good game.
And the previews supposedly were really good. I mean, from what I hear, I didn't really watch any or read any of them, but some like that was basically like the headline I saw on Twitter was like, "Oh, previews for," because they were just came out this week, I guess, the previews for it, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So yeah,
Yeah, I got a couple of videos. I got to do a little catching up on some people that played it ahead of time. And I hope it's good because I really like Arcane. I hope they get the recognition that I think they deserve. I think they make such good games and they always kind of fly over the under the radar, kind of in a mid tier in the AAA space. I hope they get that recognition. And I do have reservations about it because it does look like a Far Cry game.
I think that's a lot of people were saying that is more like Far Cry because originally people were saying that it was like Left 4 Dead, and it's not. It's not like a Left 4 Dead game, but I think it's more of like a Far Cry, maybe Borderlands ish type of game.
I'm hoping it's more like a faster paced Dishonored and less like a Far Cry game. Because Far Cry games are good for about 15 minutes at a time, and then they're extremely boring to me.
Right, right.
But that's every Ubisoft game.
Yeah, totally. Like I played a little bit of Far Cry 6, 10 hours or so, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And after 10 hours, I'm like, this is boring. I don't want to play this anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's every Ubisoft game now.
Right. Yeah.
I made it a good chunk through the last Assassin's Creed, Valhalla. And I got to a point where I was just so sick of collecting collectibles. I didn't care about the story anymore. I'll go back to it eventually. I'll beat it eventually, but I can't. Not right now.
That was I think the last I didn't play Valhalla. I played the Egypt one, and I beat that one. I thought that one was great because that was like the first one that they really made.
Origins.
Like,
That was the last good one they made.
That was like the first one that they made like an real RPG or whatever, and it was I loved it. And then
Odyssey was cool. Odyssey was after that one.
And I just couldn't do anymore. They just kept throwing, dude, we got these guys are trying this and this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, and then I hate the ships. I don't like doing the ship battles and stuff. So
I will go out on a limb and say Origins is Ubisoft's last good game.
Okay, I can't argue with that. I think that cartoony Zelda knockoff was actually solid.
Yeah, that's just a reskinned Assassin's Creed, though.
Right. I said solid. I didn't say good.
I bought it because it looked cutesy with the art style and everything, and I thought it was going to be. I don't know. I was kind of expecting it to be more like Zelda, a Zelda I could play on my Xbox. It was nothing like that.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit here and there, it was like that, but not to the degree that I wanted. There was too much Ubisoft in their Zelda clone.
Yeah, and it didn't. The combat isn't as nearly as good.
No.
And like the puzzles.
Speaking of Zelda, though, you looking forward to that new Zelda?
Oh yeah. I wish we were playing it on like a Switch Pro or something, or a Switch 2, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because in 2017 the Switch didn't look as bad, but like a game like that now, I feel like it's really going to look dated now after playing on these newer systems.
It's definitely shown its age, and I find myself skipping over things in the Switch store. Like, no, that's not going to play good here.
Right.
I'll buy it on PlayStation or I'll buy it on Xbox. I'm not gonna play that game here.
I mean, I have such like a giant Switch backlog right now. It's not even. It's crazy. I still haven't played Metroid, Fire Emblem. I have the special edition for Bayonetta 3, and still haven't even opened it yet.
Oh, you're gonna have to let me borrow that when you're done with it.
Yeah, if I ever open it.
Just keep it unopened. It's a collector's item then.
Right. All right, but Redfall, yeah. I mean, no, I don't think I don't really have any strong feelings. It's just that I wish these companies would not like lie and just be honest and be like, look, we want these games because we want you to play them here.
Here, I got a solution for you. Buy yourself a month of Game Pass.
I have it.
Go.
Yeah, those bastards and why I'm salty about it. I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you why I'm salty about this. It's because I bought the Series X like last April, maybe, like literally a week to 2 weeks before they delayed both of those games, and I was like, assholes. And I bought 18 months of Game Pass. So yeah, I'm salty.
Well, then you're good with my solution. All you gotta do is go to your PlayStation 5, go to the Internet app, log on to Game Pass through the Internet app, and play via cloud Redfall.
I don't know if you can do that though on their Internet app. They probably have. I'm sure they have that disabled.
Yeah, I don't know either. I should try that though. I'll give that a try. See if I can't get on there. I'm willing to bet it won't be fun whatsoever.
Probably not.
You could at least say I'm playing an Xbox game on a PlayStation.
You could do that. Yeah, could do that. Okay.
Even though you're already able to do that with Minecraft Dungeons.
I would actually
Minecraft itself.
I fired Minecraft Dungeons up today because I had to get. They have that PlayStation Star system. It's kind of probably some similar to what they have with their Game Pass Quest or something like that. You turn into coins that it turns into like you can buy games or like PlayStation money on there. And like one of the missions was to fire up the PS Plus games.
Yeah, I'm a part of that too, but I'm not on my PlayStation enough to make use of it. I like to wait until PlayStation games come to PC.
So yeah, I fired that up today. Played like the first 2 levels. I mean, I've played a little bit of that on Xbox, but
It's fun. I like it. I think
it's solid. Yeah, it's solid.
it needs a little bit more attention than it gets.
Right, right, totally. There's a lot of DLC for it too, and I'm like, oh, should I buy this? But I'm like, I'm probably never gonna get to it. So, and I just look at the games that I have installed. I'm like, no, because I still have to beat Hogwarts, and that's probably gonna take me like the rest of the year, half of the year at least.
How do you like Hogwarts?
I like it. I mean, I loved it at first, but I've slowly like petered off on it, just because other stuff has come out. Like I was playing that, and then a few weeks later, a month, PSVR 2 came out. Then I went on vacation. Now we just got back. I wanted to finish some stuff on PSVR 2, and then now Resident Evil's coming out. So
Is that going to be PSVR?
there's supposed to be a mode for it, but I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if that mode is going to be the full game or not.
Wonder how that will work. Will you be hovering over Leon's shoulder as you guide him through the village and castle?
Probably it'll probably just be like first person if they do that, similar to like they had the old Resident Evil 4 on Quest too.
That's true.
And I did buy it and played like the first 30 minutes of it, which was really cool. But I'm sure it probably wouldn't be hard really to get that working. I mean, they got RE Village to work. It's got to be that RE engine is so damn good and so adaptable that like I seriously, like I feel like they could do anything with that engine.
It needs way more credit than a lot of these game engines out there now are getting. Like everyone
Totally.
totes Unreal 5. How come nobody's talking up the RE engine when it could take a game like Monster Hunter Rise, put that on the Switch, and put it on PC to look as good as it does,
Like maybe,
as well as these Resident Evil games?
like I don't know, maybe. Oh well, I mean, it does. RE is first person. Maybe you can't do like a lightning fast first person shooter. At least we don't know yet. But
Devil May Cry is on the RE engine.
oh yeah, that's true. But that's a third person like action game. It's not a first person shooter.
No, but that Capcom doesn't really make first-person shooters.
Right, yeah. So for like third person games, like yeah, it's like one of the
No,
best
I
action games.
would buy another one of those umbrella
Oh
shooter
yeah,
games like the one
Dude,
they had on the Wii.
I wish they had that for. I was just saying in one of my streams. I wish they had that for PlayStation VR too. That
I
game's
just
awesome.
bought it for $2.99 or something like that on my Wii U in the bedroom. I gotta find my Wii remotes. I can't play it without a Wii remote.
We have that. Me and my kid were playing that early, like late last year, with the Umbrella Chronicles on Wii. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's difficult.
but it's a lot of fun.
It is fun, yeah. I just wish I had like the gun holders for the Wii remotes.
Oh yeah, I have to find my Wii remotes to play that game. But you know the Wii shop is going down
Yeah.
in a couple of days. So I went on there and I had to buy a couple of games. I bought that and a couple of other ones. I bought some TurboGrafx 16 games on there. Lords of Thunder.
Lords of Thunder. I'm trying to think of what that is.
It's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up where you don elemental armor
Huh.
and it has like heavy metal music playing in the background. It was the must-have game for the TurboGrafx back in the day, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Along with Ys,
Yeast.
in my opinion.
Okay, you said you had thoughts on Activision Blizzard.
On the purchase?
Yeah, because I said we had to get into that, and remember the court. I was talking about the court stuff with Activision Blizzard and how they said that Microsoft was had a history of pulling exclusive games off of their assumption. And you were like, "Oh, I got a thoughts on that, the Activision Blizzard thing."
Right. You gotta forgive me. It took us so long to get this podcast going that I had a couple to drink. Yeah, no, I do have thoughts on that because I think it needs to happen.
I'm just
mainly
tired of hearing about it.
because
That's why it needs to happen.
I'm tired of hearing about it.
Right.
I do not like BattleNet where you have to buy. If you were to play on PC, you got to buy Diablo 4 on there
Mm.
and their services. It's also their back end, so it's their servers and everything like that. I do not like that. It was good back in the day for Diablo 2, but I don't like having all these different services that I got to buy games from. Epic, GOG, Steam, Rockstar, Ubisoft, EA, BattleNet.
Right.
It's too much, and if Microsoft buys them, I'll be able to get the games on Steam and have one larger library than a bunch of different libraries. I too am also tired of hearing about this, tired of hearing about the arguments, because you've talked about this before where you think there's rumors that Sony's going to buy Square Enix, which I think needs to happen too, because Square Enix is just a fucking stupid company at this point.
Dude, I was listening to a podcast and they mentioned like all of the games that Square put out from like November until like the end of January, and it was literally like 10 different games, and they're all like RP, like they're all the same damn type of game, and it's like you're selling, trying to get all these games to this one type of person. I'm like, that person can't literally play all these long ass RPGs. Like, why would you release? Because they have all of like these like lower tier. I don't know if it's Star Ocean or, but
I'll tell you what, I bought most of them.
and then they had Crisis Core come out like a week into December, and then Forspoken, like literally 10 to 50, Octopath Traveler 2. It's like you're the same person you're trying to sell these games can't play all of these games. So like, what are you doing?
The problem is the quality of the games. Forspoken is a terrible fucking game.
You know what? The one thing that did you play the beta for that, the demo?
I did
Whatever?
not.
Okay, so the one thing like people complained about is like how you choose and cast your spells, and that's one thing that like Hogwarts does excellent. Is it has a great like control scheme that's go through like I don't know 20 different spells super quickly. They like totally killed Forspoken in that area, and that was a huge complaint about that. And yeah, the game just wasn't. I maybe like this game. It goes like on sale for like 20-30 bucks. I might pick it up. If I have nothing to play, but
I am waiting for it to hit that price range because I love to buy and play terrible games, and that's on my list to get. It's just too expensive right now, especially since it released on PC for $69.99. That's
ooh,
just too
yeah,
much for a PC game.
yeah.
And you're right, they did release.
Gamers don't like those $70 games.
No, no, we don't.
Yeah.
It's not right. And they did release a bunch of games. You're right. I got Valkyrie Elysium,
Yep, that
which
was
is
one of them. Yeah.
mediocre. Star Ocean seems to be really good, but it has issues still to this point. The best game that they released, I don't have Octopath Traveler 2. That's on my list to
That's
get.
supposedly like the best one they've released in this period, basically.
I I would believe that, but in my opinion, the best one that I could play that they have is Tactics Ogre Reborn,
And that
and
was
that's
another
just
one.
a remaster of a game that they already had.
Right.
Oh, and then
Octopath.
they had games like Harvestella,
Yep.
which looked really bad. Strategy, which I own, I haven't played yet, but that looks like it's going to be really good.
Yeah, that was like last year. I don't know. Did that come out on the newer consoles, or is that still Switch only?
I think it's Switch and PC only.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I think Sony definitely needs to buy Square Enix. I will accept that purchase, that merger, so as long as they stop making these stupid decisions to go with NFTs. Did you see the new Square Enix NFT game that they're coming out with?
I didn't know.
Yeah, they're coming out with a game solely based on NFTs. It looks fucking ridiculous.
Oh my
It
god.
looks so fucking stupid. Their stocks have got to be tanking. They've got to be in trouble. They've already sold off all
those
of the
Western
Tomb Raider,
studios, yeah.
EDOs. Yeah. Which is good too, because the company they sold them to seems to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a new Tomb Raider. Hopefully, we get a new uh, Now I'm drawing a blank.
Deus Ex.
I hope for that. I'm not going to hold my breath. The last two Deus Ex games I think were really good. The last one especially was phenomenal and underrated. Very similar to arcane games where you're kind of able to choose how you play and whether you go in guns a-blazing or you run around sneaking and hacking. I I think their expectations were too high for that game, but that's just part of the stupid decisions that Square Enix has been making.
Right. All right. Well, we settled it. Then uh, you can have Activision Blizzard. We'll take Square.
You know what? I'm fine because I'll be able to play all those games on PC.
I realize like yeah, I don't care about anything on L. I mean, the Blizzard stuff maybe like over like Diablo. Basically, I think is to my extent of what I would care about if they were just to like we're taking all of Activision Blizzard's games. Because even like Call of Duty, like I like every two or three Call of Duty games, and then Warzone. I liked the first one. I played a ton of Warzone, and then the second one, I'm just like, meh.
I'm not big on Call of Duty. I like to get them every now and then,
Like
but
Fortnite.
it is a
Fortnite's
big
my game.
moneymaker.
Fortnite's my game that like I have to because think I have so much money invested in it now. It's like, all right, well, I gotta play this game now.
I didn't know you played Fortnite. Did you play PUBG?
A little bit. I started
Ever?
Fortnite. I've started playing Fortnite like the day it released. I think I played it for the first 2 years. Then I took probably a couple of years off, and then was it last year when I let my kid play it? I got back into it, and we started investing a lot of money into it. And one of my friends plays it, so that's kind of like our multiplayer game that we play. I mean, like the
It was
season's
at this
different.
moment that he knew
Yeah,
he fucked up.
totally. Because as soon as I let my kid play Fortnite, he doesn't want to play like any other game other than Fortnite. So, yep, that was bad parenting on my part.
Did he do the Fortnite dance?
Oh yeah, he does all different Fortnite dances. Yeah, he's like, Dad, can I get more V Bucks? Let me get those V Bucks, Dad. So yeah, that's it for Redfall. That's the Redfall topic that we didn't talk about. Redfall hardly at all about.
Red Faction. That's the game I was thinking of that we need a new
Oh,
one
Red
of.
Faction, gotcha. Since we're I guess on Activision Blizzard, let's talk about this Diablo 4 mess. You said it was amazing, right?
Well, I have reservations. Well, to be honest, I have reservations about every single new game coming out. I'm kind of going back to old school gaming the older I get. I bought some of those analog systems that I should be getting in October. I got the Sega Genesis one and the Super Nintendo one to be able to play old school carts on my HD TV. But modern gaming is such hit or miss now that it's really become sad, I think. And Diablo 4, I had a great time with the demo, but what scares me about it is they could do a bait and switch, right?
You know they're gonna be like, oh, if you want some more loot, we can increase that drop rate for you. Just slide that credit card in the hole, and we'll do it.
Exactly. Or I got up to level 15, and from level 15 to level 20, the XP gains seemed to drop off majorly. And I was like, this is starting to feel like a point where they would slide in one of those ads and say, hey, need a boost?
Oh yeah.
Just $4.99 and you'll get 2 times the XP, or for $10, we'll give you 4 times the XP.
Or that's gonna be like in the battle pass is like XP boosts or drop rate boosts or something like that.
Yes.
And then like,
And
oh, we made a mistake, but we're listening now. After they, it's totally like egregious at launch or something like that.
I don't think it's going to be at launch. I think it's going to be one of those situations where
Well, that's what a lot of these companies do, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't know, but now we've fixed it." And then they play stupid, like there's the first game that's ever done this stuff, but or they could do it. It could be good, and they could just remember like Gran
I
Turismo
think it's
last
going to be
year.
the more nefarious way, where they release the game and there's little to no microtransactions in it,
Oh
and then
yeah, and then
several
after
months
reviews,
after
yeah,
the reviews are out, they'll start dropping those experience gain potions, or because there's room for that stuff in there. You could brew your own potions, and they give you a slight EXP boost. And I could see them sliding in stuff where, pay money for the golden version or whatever of this.
Totally.
But other than that, the game, at first I was a little worried about the way the game looked, because it looked kind of Xbox 360-ish, where everything was kind of gray and dark and monotone.
No. Not brown.
But
Well, it can't be like, because 360 had like the piss and brown filter on it, basically.
it wasn't that bad.
It was bad.
But it was dark and it was moody. But that's Diablos, right?
Yeah.
So, and after venturing a little bit longer in the world, it does open up, and it still has that dark, moody atmosphere, but it does look really good if you're looking down at the details. And it played really good with controller. And I'm just looking forward. The story was really dark and bloody. It's kind of back to Diablo 2 days with the skill tree and everything like that. So I'm really looking forward to it. I have a pre-order, so I'm going to be playing it no matter what. I just hope that it's not nefarious where they slow down your experience gain or drops because you're not paying that extra money for bonus drops or whatnot.
What classes were you playing?
I believe I was playing the assassin, and I tried out the barbarian for a little bit.
I like playing with the archer. I think I did. That was like one of my main characters on Diablo 3 was the archer.
They play a little similar to Diablo 3, but also it feels different at the same time. It's hard for me to put my finger on.
Yeah. The tone of it looks different than Diablo 3, maybe, or the art style maybe.
Yeah, the art style definitely shifted, but you could still kind of see the framework of Diablo 3 there, which is really weird to me because I played so much of Diablo 3.
I know, yeah, you did.
I can't play that game anymore. I played so much of it. It's like I overdosed on it.
Right, that's where I got to the point too, and I'm like, I can't know if I can do this anymore. I think I got a couple three characters up to, I don't know, max level, and then I didn't do a ton of the higher tiered stuff, but
yeah, I had 20. And I maxed out the Paragon levels to 10,000 or whatever it was.
Oh, and I didn't want to do that Act 1 a million times, and then when the game comes out, and be like, I don't want to do this Act 1 again, because the progression doesn't carry over. So I think that was another one of the reasons why I convinced myself not to play the beta.
That's a big worry I have for Diablo 4 too, is that it could be that.
Yeah.
You go in and you're repeating, even though they have overworld MMO type objectives. Like I went to one where there was a lady trapped underneath her carriage, and the moment I approached her, enemies started closing in, and I had to protect her and kill all the enemies. But how many times does that repeat, right?
Right.
But I'm excited for it, and I hope Microsoft buys them and kind of puts any kibosh on any microtransactions they might be thinking.
Are you going to play the open beta this weekend too?
Probably not, because I reached level 20. You had to reach a certain point in the campaign and level 20 to get 2 unlockables in full release. I think one of them was a pet or something like that.
Oh,
I played
okay.
that far. I don't want to go too far and cap myself out and then start losing that experience.
Yeah.
Because I think you cap out at level 25. Though, I think you're supposed to be able to play as the Druid and Necromancer on this weekend.
Gotcha.
I could be wrong.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would have done the Archer if I got in. I probably won't have any damn space left on my hard drive to download it. Because I'm probably going to buy Resident Evil 4 here once we're done with this, and let that download tonight and probably fire that up tomorrow.
You're going to stream it?
Maybe, probably, yeah. Depends.
You should.
It depends. My kid is at daycare during the day, and so I might use that. You might use that time actually to stream VR, because I can't stream VR when he's at home. I could stream Resident Evil when he gets home. So.
All right.
Because I streamed some VR actually last week when he was home, and I hear him rumbling in the background, And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm going to the bathroom. You gotta wipe my butt." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "You didn't run. You didn't run in front of the camera, did you?" He's naked. He's naked. I'm like, he's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, let me check the stream. Make sure you didn't. I don't want to be fucking cops coming over here." So yeah, I'm like, all right, well, I probably shouldn't play stream VR anymore when I'm home with him. So, but what else? You playing anything else?
I am playing Ishin Like a
Oh
Dragon.
yeah, I forgot about that game. That's another
It
one.
is
That was another one of those missions for that PlayStation Stars program. I think was either to buy it. I think.
awesome. Samurai Yakuza game.
Dude, these Yakuza games are so damn good. Like I wish that should be just like my game that I have in the background and play like throughout the whole year, like the next 6 years, and just like knock every one of them off the list. Because I beat the first one, and I was like, this is freaking amazing. What and isn't that like that's a PS2 game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I mean, they had the obviously they remade or remastered them or whatever for a PS4, I think it was. But like, yeah, it's just the graphics, but it plays. I'm like, dude, nothing else out here plays like this. This is just fun. This is like,
Or is as sane as the story gets. I've never seen something be so fucking serious and so insane at the same time. They're great.
yeah, totally. Did you play the Like a Dragon one? I didn't. I mean, I didn't play it.
Yes. That one is great too. That one plays more like a
It was like an RPG,
JRPG.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like even like the combat, you're just mashing buttons on like the other ones, and it's fun. I just love smashing the guys with the bikes and stuff. It's super cool.
Or you pick somebody up and you just slam their head into the wall several times. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. How is that? Does like this one play like the older ones?
I was thinking that it was going to be different, but it does play like the non JRPG ones. It's action orientated. You have four stances. You got a stance where you have a sword. You got a stance where you're just with fists. A stance where you hold a gun, and a stance where you have a gun in a hand and a sword in a hand,
Mm.
and you can switch between them. It's pretty cool.
How is the story? Is it pretty decent?
It's good. I'm not that far in it, so I can't give you a good review on it because I'm kind of taking my time with it. I've only played it for like 10 hours. I'm not sure how long the game is. I'm moving kind of slow, doing all the sub stories I can,
I think
playing it a little here and there.
I think you can make those games like really long. There's a lot of at least the first Yakuza game. There was a ton of sub stories in that one.
Yeah, the last one, the Like a Dragon, Yakuza 7, I've got like 60 hours in it, and I still haven't beaten it.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, you could. I think those games could go like anywhere from like 20 to like fucking 100 hours. It's crazy.
You go into a bar and do karaoke.
Yeah, yeah. I really want to go back to and like play like Zero because that was the new one that they remade last PS4 generation.
You should. They're on sale all the time.
I think I own that one. Plus, you own Yakuza 1 and 2, I think. So it's just a matter of downloading them and actually playing them. Freaking, I'll be
Yeah.
playing Hogwarts all year. At some point, I just need to mainline it. But man, that game is really good. It's a really good game. I mean, it's obviously if it's your basic open world game, and once the charm of like because the world is really good. The Harry Potter world that they have in there, like they did a lot of a lot of care into making that world. But I guess like once that wears off and you get over it, it's the same thing of talk to this person, go over here, do this, go back, do that, talk to this person. It's formulaic. So, but I want to see it through and finish it up. But other than that, yeah, just playing a lot of PSVR 2. I beat that Switchback game, did a review on that.
That did not look especially good. It did not look bad either.
It's fun, but yeah, the visuals were a little disappointing. Like it seems like, and there's like a lot of loading in it. Like there's more loading in that than any other like open world game on like PlayStation 5, which makes me think like they just rushed it to get it out, which is disappointing. But The Walking Dead, man, that game is so damn good. Like I've heard like good things about it, and I played like the beginning of it on Quest 2. But this just blows the Quest 2 version out of the water, and it's a real game. You get it's a real game. You get orders from people. You go do stuff. you can like interact with all this different stuff. It's basically a survival game. You go to do a mission, you get all of this stuff, load your backpack up, take it back to your base, which is like a bus, and then you turn all of it into junk, like different types of material for scrap, and then you can upgrade these skill trees that let you craft like better guns, better health, and better melee weapons, basically. And then improve your stamina and your stats and stuff like that, so that way you can continue doing missions. And you basically have like a timer until like dark time, and like a bell rings, and then after that, like all hell breaks loose, and like a lot of different more zombies get on screen. And like when you get out there and you kill like your first zombie, it's like, oh, that's not bad. One zombie, no problem. But then you get like 3 on them that like come up on you. Then they're like, oh, then you can get in trouble quick. I died fairly quickly and quite a few times in that game. But like I'm just super impressed with this. Like it's a real game. It's not like an experience. I took an axe the other day and chopped 2 zombies' heads off, and I picked them both up. I started juggling with them, and like you could start making out with the heads and stuff. It's funny. Oh, dude, yeah. So that was like that. I'm super excited to finish that, and supposedly the second one is even better, really. So, other than that, on PSVR, I don't know what else am I playing. I finished up Horizon. I finished up Horizon, and that was pretty good. I really did like that, but I think once I get done with Walking Dead, I'm gonna probably say that's probably gonna be my favorite VR game probably ever.
That sounds good. I do own that on Steam, but I don't have a VR helmet yet.
I think the Quest 2 is Steam compatible, but the only problem with that is that it's an LCD, and playing the Walking Dead on the LCD, the blacks look really gray compared to the OLED.
I could see that happening.
But like those new controllers that they have, the haptics, man, they make a big. You wouldn't think that like Rumble makes a big difference on like a lot of these games, but it does make you more immersed in the game, really. Especially on VR, where you're like closed off in your own world.
I did see a video. I didn't watch the whole thing yet, but apparently you could get a cable for your PlayStation VR 2 and hook it up to a computer.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. I don't know if they found a way to like jailbreak it yet. I'm sure they eventually will if they haven't already. But
yeah, that would definitely interest me if I could buy something for my PS5 and then use it on my PC as well.
Because like it's actually, from what everybody said, it's a good headset compared to even like for the price compared to other like PC headsets. Like it's got some tech in it that's not available on there yet.
Yeah, I don't think I want to go down the route of the Quest. That just seems too cheap.
It's like $400 really compared to $550 for this thing, and it's a much more comfortable headset. It's way better tech. But I mean, the Quest does have good games on it. Really, people who play console games really are like, oh, there's probably no games on it, but they're just not like name brand console games.
I would buy it and play probably only Beat Saber on it.
Beat Saber is really good. Beat Saber is a good VR game. I am a fan. I think that's really the only other VR games I've beaten Platinum Horizon, which is more of like an on rails. Walking Dead is more of a quote unquote real game than Horizon is. Horizon, you're just kind of like on a linear path, and then when you get into fights, you're like in an arena, and you can only strafe left to right. You can't free move.
Yeah, I did not enjoy.
Which it's cool, but it's more of like a beginner / intermediate VR player's game.
I'd be willing to give it a shot. I don't know if I would put money down on it.
But I mean, I think I'm going to keep GT7 on there, and hopefully eventually here get a wheel possibly coming up for that, because that game is awesome in VR.
That is the ultimate VR dream, isn't it?
Right. Like, I mean, man, if they
have
like
the pedals, shifter.
That's what's like super frustrating. I wish like Xbox would have, or at least like have like third-party VR headsets on their system, because They've got some good. Like I would love to play Halo Master Chief Collection in VR, or even like Forza Horizon would be awesome in VR.
Yeah, I
Did,
agree.
did you see like that Lego game that was announced today? That Lego car game, whatever it is, by 2K.
I did. It looked a lot like the Lego from the Horizon games.
Right? Yeah.
Going to be open world.
They were probably after they made that, they're like, why don't we just make one of these games? I think that
It's
was pretty popular.
I enjoyed it, and it's got me interested in this game coming out. Though it's coming out from 2K.
Dude,
2K doesn't really make bad games, in my opinion, usually,
right.
but they do monetize the hell out of everything. And since it's
100%.
Lego, what are you gonna buy different Lego sets to build cars to race?
Right,
Probably.
probably. Yeah, totally. And Lego stuff's not cheap either. I bet you they'll have a whole bunch of different license sets out there, and yeah,
Yeah, they could even do levels. Racing the pirate level,
right,
$9.99.
right. Here's your Marvel Avengers level, $15.
Although that Hot Wheels game did the same thing, and I have that game.
I do too. Yeah, I got that was on PS Plus like last year or whatever. Although I think the Ultimate Edition is on Game Pass. I think
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
it's solid. Yeah, I like it. It's one of those games that's like it's good, and I want to play it, but it's just like it just keeps falling down the list of stuff. I have it installed too, and I'm like,
And it gets deleted because there's just no room.
there's only
I'm with you.
it's only 26 gigs, so it hasn't reached that level yet. I'm like, because usually what I need space for is bigger, way bigger than that. So I'm like, all right, well, it's
I
pointless. To
think
install.
I deleted it off my Xbox because, get this, on my Xbox I've got the 1 terabyte internal with whatever the OS takes up on there subtracting. I don't remember what it is because it's been so long since I've seen that base Series X.
Yeah.
I've got the 1 terabyte expansion Seagate card, which was way too expensive.
Woo!
And then I've got a 12 terabyte external hard drive, and I'm still out of room.
Jeez. You keep too many games on there too, and you don't even play like any of these big like games as a service games either.
Not really. The last one I played was Gotham Knights, and it was a huge disappointment.
I couldn't
And I
even
paid full price for that.
put COD on my PlayStation 5 if I wanted to right now with GT7 and NBA 2K on there.
Well, you should get yourself not an external, a new MVMV.
If that Slim comes out this year, I'll just buy that and then I'll just right away put a new SSD in it, so that way because I don't feel like having. Plus, I have a data cap, so I don't feel like having to re-download stuff. And yeah,
You know what though? They're all on sale right now.
they
Though.
are. They've gotten a lot cheaper. It's much cheaper now than the Xbox's Seagate thing. Because isn't that thing still like $200 or is it 100?
It was like 220 when I bought it,
Ooh, man.
and then the 2 terabyte version was like more than the system itself.
Yikes. So like if you buy like an Xbox Series S and one of those things, you're basically you're in the price range of an Xbox Series X.
You are, yes.
So it's kind of like pointless.
Yeah, I'm looking at Best Buy right now. The 1 terabyte is $199, so it went down a little bit since I bought it.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, I do. I need more storage.
And the 2 terabyte is $359 from Best Buy.
Or I've been even thinking about getting WWE 2K23 just came out, and my kid, me and him are into wrestling. So, but like I know that's probably over like 100 something gigs. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to keep. I should just put it on his and like play it up in his room with him.
You going to be watching the Royal Rumble?
I mean, you mean WrestleMania? Royal Rumble. Was
WrestleMania, that's it.
Yeah, we started watching. Did you watch wrestling in high school?
I started watching it again recently with my wife. She
Okay.
really enjoys it.
So yeah, we started watching it. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. We started watching AEW because I'm like, what's this AEW stuff? I'm like, Chris Jericho's in there, and then CM Punk came back, and so we started watching that, and then they still do pay-per-views on that, and so WWE's on Peacock, and I'm like, all right, well, I get these premium live events for free, so we started watching more WWE now, so I'm like, might as well. And plus, it has all like the old school stuff on Peacock too, so like that's what I usually go to sleep with. I'm like, I'm gonna just throw something on from when I was a kid and fall asleep to it.
That's how I wound up subscribing to Peacock too. I started putting stuff on YouTube, old Royal Rumbles. That's why it's on my brain because we were watching so many.
Oh, okay.
And my wife really got into it. I was like, "Where do I watch this at?" And then
We
I saw it was on Peacock, and I subscribed to Peacock, and I was like, "Oh yeah, now I got to have friends over. We're gonna have like a Super Bowl type party for the WrestleMania
right. We had
and stuff like that."
we get Peacock through our our TV subscription through Xfinity for free. So I'm like, oh, okay, might as well.
Yeah,
I,
it's not bad.
yeah, it's not a bad service. I don't mind it. The like I said, the WWE stuff is like there's a ton of stuff on there.
Yeah, I've been going back through all those old WrestleManias and Royal Rumbles, playing them a little bit here and there, while trying to get caught up with this year's. I figured we're so far behind. If we just go back to January this year and watch Raw and SmackDown
Right.
and everything else that happens, we'll be caught up, right? We'll know the storylines.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I'm gonna finish Walking Dead Saints and Sinners on PSVR, and then I'll play the second one, and probably this week I think I'm gonna get Resident Evil tonight. Probably play some of that this weekend. I was trying to figure out whether I wanted the deluxe version or not, but like there's not much but some costumes in the deluxe version, and like
Oh, you need that little thing that goes on your gun. You need your bling.
yeah, the handgun ammo case, yeah, the little trinket. There's that, and then there's like some extra treasure you get from the deluxe version. I'm like, I'm not paying that because this is actually a $60 game. I'm
I
pretty
saw
sure.
that.
Yeah, I was like, oh man.
I don't think I'll be good. I think I'll be waiting for it to go on PC.
I feel like a rich man.
I think it's going to be great, and I think it's going to be worth it. I just have so much in my backlog that I got to get through.
You know what? Resident Evil 4 was not one of my favorite Resident Evil games. I mean,
Really?
okay, no, you know what? It was one. 2 was always number 1 for me. It's not even close. And then I would say 1, and then maybe 4. I never beat 4. And
5 was my favorite.
I never beat 5 either.
5 was my favorite because playing it with friends was just awesome.
That's right. Yeah, that was when
Old school
it became
Xbox
too,
360
it became
memories.
too actiony for me. Especially even 4 really was a little too actiony for me. So when I played this demo, I'm like, oh yeah, this seems exactly like the damn game I played a million times already. Because Resident Evil 4 is on every system basically.
Yeah, you could probably play it on your phone.
Basically, yeah.
Can you play it on your fridge like you could play Doom?
Right, yeah, totally. They just came out with a Doom mobile game this week.
Really?
Yeah. I have not played it. I have not really been excited to play it. So, but
I'll take a look. Well, while you're adding stuff to your list of stuff to buy, you should buy Dead Cells with the Castlevania DLC.
is that for everything?
That's on everything. It
think
is phenomenal.
I only played like 20 minutes of Dead Cells, and I forgot what platform I played it on. It might have been like on a PS, like one of the. No, was it? I don't know. It was on one of these subscription services, and it didn't hook me.
One of the best DLCs I've ever bought
Really?
was the Castlevania DLC for Dead Cells.
What do they make Castlevania about it?
They added extra levels where you go and you're exploring Dracula's castle and you fight him at the end. They added abilities. Well, not really abilities, but they added weapons and stuff like that from the franchise. They redid the music and have the music in there from it. It's just phenomenal, man.
Interesting. They need to make a Castlevania game. Like, let's get on this, Konami. What the hell? That's someone.
The company that made Dead Cells should make the next Castlevania game.
That's someone Sony should buy, is just buy Konami's IP, or buy them and just like, okay, we want these. We're remaking Metal Gear, which supposedly there's a new Metal Gear stuff. There was a rumor of that stuff coming out like right before E3, possibly.
A sequel to Survive?
Yeah, no. I just recently went back and nearly finished Metal Gear Solid 5 last year.
I've yet to beat that as well, too.
I think I got to like when I originally played it when it came out, I only got like 10 hours into it maybe. This time I got like all the way to the end, and then you need to like do a whole bunch of certain stuff in order to get like the final quote unquote final missions, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to YouTube this. This is annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of tedium in the game, especially if you're trying to do the like silent moving and
Oh yeah, I think I got to like there was a level where I think she can one hit kill you or something like that, where you have to kill quiet. It's like the second time you have to, but there's like a whole bunch of repeat stuff in there. The gameplay in that game was amazing, but like yeah, there was some stupid BS in that yeah, I had enough of it. But
I don't even remember where I was in the game. If I go back, I'll probably have to start all over again.
but I think the rumor is that like they're supposed to remake 3, I think, which would be awesome. Honestly, I wish they would just remake a 1, 2, and 3. That I would or just release them. There's really no good way to play those on console, or at least Metal Gear Solid 1.
No, there's not. Well, you can get the PlayStation Classic.
It's not available on anything. Oh, I mean, that piece of shit system. Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, I've got 2 of them.
Do you?
Yeah.
No, yeah, no thanks. Just let me play all those games that download them to my PlayStation 5. I'll be happy.
They could do that with all the PS1 games they've been making backwards compatible recently.
Yeah.
There's no reason except for Konami not signing off on it, for them re-releasing the Metal Gear Solid and the VR missions.
Right. Or like, yeah, Castlevania and Metal Gear. Was Castlevania on that PS1 classic? Symphony of the Night was, right?
I don't remember.
It has
Thing
to
was so
be.
horrible, I don't remember what was
Right.
on there. No, Ridge Racer was on there, I think.
I think I played that a total of like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was not great.
Those games don't
Especially
hold
having
up very well.
the controller with no analog support.
Right. Oh, all right. You got anything else you want to cover tonight? I think that's basically all I got, really.
No. Where can the people find you?
They can find me at Fusion Media, Fusion64 Media on Twitter. I think that's what my handle is. I don't even know. They can find me here on YouTube.
All right, hit that like and subscribe button for
Please,
more great
yeah,
content.
If you're new here, make sure to hit like, do me a favor, hit subscribe, and what are we going to do? Maybe it's Thursdays for right now. We'll see. I'll put a message
You
out.
let me know.
Put a message out on the YouTube channel and let you guys know when the next one will be. We're going to shoot for Thursday at 8 if there's no more technical difficulties and we got to delay it again.
Yeah, maybe next time we should start up with what we've been playing.
Yeah,
Not end with it.
I didn't. Yeah, we should have, but I didn't want to because I knew Diablo 4 is a big topic, and if a million people showed up, I didn't want you to be covered that already. So that's why I started with The Last of Us because I knew you didn't care about it.
You're right. I don't care about The Last of Us. I will give it another shot, but I don't think I'll care about it anymore.
Right, totally.
Or less.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. And once again, yeah, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and we'll see you later.